Friends, today I'm going to give you quick tips about Tinkercad files versus STL files, and I'm going to also show you an awesome Tinkercad Dragon. So let's get cracking. Friends, we're going to start at the Tinkercad homepage. I'm going to switch down to the design page, and as I said, I want to work with a dragon. So if you want to find all your dragons, you can simply come over here and type search. This is how Tinkercad stores your projects to the cloud. Now you can click on them and you can choose Tinker this. If you don't want to break what you've already created, you can also click on them and duplicate so that you've got another copy. When you create projects, you can make them public or you can also leave them private. If you look at a public design, you'll likely find details in the properties. Also, users can add images. You can access all of that from this properties menu. If you're looking closely, you can also add them to class activities and collections. If I click back to this page, you can see here are all the collections that I have created. It's just a nice way to keep things organized while you're working on them. Back to our designs though, I'm going to show you how to tinker this design. If we zoom out, you can see I've got several little dragons in here. This is a tutorial. It takes a little more than 20 minutes. And I show you pretty quickly how to make this printable dragon. Notice I've got the head aimed up, the wings aimed up, so it actually prints without support. I'll get one of those printing on the Bambu P1S in just a moment. Another thing I'd like to highlight, I left a little hole here that is about 1.75 millimeters. It is a fun feature I like to add, so it even makes my single color prints a little more awesome. Now, right now I've got this set for presentation. That's why the colors are as they are. Normally I work with it set with the preset white. And then I also turn on the shadows and the grid. That is where I like to build from. I have also taken my large original dragon and I've made one a little bit smaller. This one prints faster and I use it when I'm just giving them away. I'll also zoom in here quick and show you that I've added my own supports so that the tail prints more accurately. The other reason we're in here, friends, is because I see users say, hey, my project is not editable. See how I can ungroup that and change things? Let me show you how users end up with projects that aren't editable. Whenever we want to send something to the printer, we select all the pieces, and then we hit export as an STL. You could also use an OBJ file. It's really up to you. I'm going to export mine to my 3D modeling folder, and then I'm going to call this Cute Dragon. Instead of the word tutorial, I'm going to put July 2024, or just 24. Now it is saved for 3D printing, and it's a single piece. So the problem users have is they get back to the beginning of Tinkercad, they start a new project instead of opening their project. I'm going to change the name to Dragon STL because I'm trying to help you understand what is happening here. And then they import that STL they created. This is one of the cool things about Tinkercad is that you can import STLs, whether they were created in Tinkercad or other projects. But when you import them, it does take a bit longer for Tinkercad to interpret them. But after a minute, it shows up. And as you'll see, it is a single shape. You cannot ungroup and edit it. Now, you can use brute force. So like I can bring out a hole. And if for some reason I wanted to cut off some of the toes, I just put this where the toes are. And if we group those two pieces with Control G, notice it is editing the entire part using brute force, which can be handy for some STLs. Say you find one on Thingiverse, but it is definitely not handy if you actually created the Tinkercad project. I'm going to quickly bounce back to our other project and just show you one more time when we hit Tinker this. These load quite a bit faster, even though I've got all these different iterations in it. And that same foot, I can click on it and ungroup and modify to my heart's content because I saved it as a standard Tinkercad file. I see that question quite a bit on Facebook groups, so I'm hoping maybe this will clear it up. Friends, with the education part out of the way, I will remind you, if you look in the cards above, you'll be able to find the full tutorial to make your own dragon. Of course, right now we're going to send it to the Bambu Labs P1S, and today we're going to use some fantastic purple rain filament from Green Gate 3D. So I just dropped that filament into the AMS. We're going to choose Create Brand New 3D Project, and we're going to hit the plus sign to find that cute dragon STL that we made a moment ago. I'm going to switch to just the normal 0.2 standard. I'm going to quickly bounce out to the device menu and update this PLA. Instead of generic PLA blue, it is now the generic PLA Purple Rain. Of course, when we edit it, instead of generic PLA, I want to set it to generic PETG. I'm going to make sure that color switches to the purple that we've got in there, and I'm going to confirm. Once I've got that confirmed, I'm going to go back to prepare, and we want to click up here and resync. Notice now it shows our purple and our generic PETG. I can now right click on the dragon and change that filament to the PETG, and of course we can slice the plate. Notice if we zoom in, it did not add supports. That's one of my favorite things about this project is I made the wings at angles so that it is actually printable just like this. My other favorite thing is this tiny little guy prints in about an hour. With all those steps out of the way, friends, let's hit print plate. A quick double check to make sure that I do have the right filament. Yes, it is number 4, the PETG, and we can send it to the 3D printer. After a moment, we get the device menu, and once the download completes, we can click play and monitor the project from wherever we are. And let's reach inside and check out our awesome little dragon. Totally designed in Tinkercad, printed on the Bambu Labs P1S with Purple Rain PETG filament. And as you can see, that turned out absolutely awesome. These little supports just pop off, and I could not be happier with this adorable little dragon. Of course, friends, I will have a link to Greengate 3D in the description of this video. The Purple Rain is absolutely fabulous if you're hunting for it. If you click Shop and choose 3D Filament, there are a ton of awesome featured colors with excellent names. If you want to find the Purple Rain, you will need to use the search tool. If you type purple, you can find the Purple Rain High Temperature and the Purple Rain Recycled PETG that I was rocking. Friends, as I wrap up, don't forget Tinkercad projects saved to the cloud. You can click Tinker this and totally edit what you built. If you import an STL, that comes in one piece, and you can only use brute force to make changes to it. And of course, if you want to make your very own dragon, there'll be a link to that tutorial up above. Friends, of course, have a glorious day and keep tinkering. As I wrap up, I do want to take a moment to remind you about my website, HLModTech.com. I've got a tab dedicated to Tinkercad with tons of amazing categories. Below that, you'll find the day one favorites, the useful starters, and the Tinkercad essentials. If you scroll down a little bit further, you will find my course, Tinkercad in 20 Days. It is hosted on cadclass.org. This video explains everything about it, and if you look at the bottom, you'll also find a coupon code for 25% off any of the amazing courses at cadclass.org. You can get there in an instant by simply clicking that link. I do also want to highlight the sweet built-in messaging tool. You can click that button, add your question, comment, or suggestion, and reach me almost instantly. If you look at the very top, you'll find the link to the Tinkercad Community Discord. As you can see, there are a boatload of members, and it's a fantastic place to talk everything Tinkercad. Finally, friends, I want to say thanks to my supporters on Patreon, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please also hit that share button so more people can learn about HLModTech. Don't forget, you absolutely make my day if you take time to leave a comment down below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HLModTech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.